You know what would get me to stop watching WWE forever? Well, we're gonna find out. I asked you guys this on Instagram. I've got a serious question for you guys. I'm gonna respond to them in a video coming very, very soon. WWE is in a weird spot right now. Not too many people are happy with them right now, but a lot of people are still watching, including myself. So my question is, what would WWE have to do to actually get you to stop watching? Is it a championship change? Is it somebody not being pushed? Is it, them continuing to be in a certain location forever? Maybe you don't ever feel like you're going to stop watching. Maybe you feel like you're going to be a fan forever no matter what they do. Let me know, and I'm going to respond to everything in a video very, very soon. And today I am reacting to your responses. Let's see what WWE has to do to get you to stop watching the product. Stay tuned, because later in this video I will be saying what they can do for me to get me to stop watching. So stay tuned. Also, like this video. I don't ask you guys that enough. Give the video a thumbs up. Helps the channel a whole lot. I don't know what the hell hype points are, but I'd like them. So all right. All right, so let's see. What is it going to take to get you to stop watching WWE? Let's see. We got tag team twinning. My dogs. If they ever release Drew McIntyre, wow, that's it? That's all it takes. You get Drew out of here, I'm done. I mean, I'm a Drew fan. You know what I mean? I'd like to know how much of a Drew fan the two of you are, but no, I respect it. And then right next to that, we got Muscle Man Malcolm, release Omos. Why would they ever want to get rid of God's greatest gift? Malcolm, you got to let it go, brother. At the Rumble, I was sitting in the press box in the Royal Rumble this year with all the media personalities and all the, after show interviewers. And during the Women's Rumble, Malcolm, when every single countdown was happening, he'd go, "It's Omos! It's Omos! Omos is coming!" I mean, manifesting. Sometimes it works. Didn't come out in either Rumble, unfortunately, not even the women's one. Who could have thought? But maybe one day. My boy Isaac says a new PLE, but in Israel. I'm not touching that one. And then right next to that, this guy goes, "I don't know." What the fuck what are we doing, guys? What are we doing? I feel like a lot of these responses are like not real, but like, cause I'm reading this, here we go. John Cena versus Brock Lesnar again, or Jay being the new tribal chief. You would just stop watching completely? I feel like something that would have to get you to stop watching the show in its entirety has got to be a little drastic. But this is also, I think this is a nice little commentary on people saying, if they do this, I'm done watching, and then nobody ever stopped watching. You know what I mean? You've never heard me say that ever. Oh, I'm done watching WWE if this happened. Maybe I've said that once in my life, and then I don't think the thing that I didn't want to happen happened. But, I feel like a lot of people just throw that out. Oh, I'm done watching if Cena loses. I'm done watching if Jay beats Gunther. And then you stay being a fan all the time. So it's interesting to see kind of that come to life in a video like this. However, I am interested to see if there's any actual responses that, justify giving away your fandom. Give Roxanne Perez any world title? That was the whole reason I stopped watching NXT. That is disgusting. Roxanne Perez is amazing. I mean, wrestling is obviously subjective. You can not like who you choose to not like. I'm not a Braun Breaker fan, so maybe I'm not going to sit here and be like, how could you not, when people don't understand why I don't like Braun Breaker. So I give it to you. But not watching the show forever? You stopped watching NXT because of it, allegedly. But, I mean, wow. I don't even know it's one segment on a show when they got 3 of them a week. You know what I mean? You can't withstand one segment from one wrestler you don't like. I do it. I do it a lot. But, I mean, sure, to each their own. I think once Rollins, Roman, and Cody retire is going to be when I stop, not WWE's fault. It's crazy to think about the time that we are in, because they have relied on old people for so long, and we've had a lot of people out the door very recently. Goldberg officially retired this year, I hope. John Cena is obviously retiring in December. AJ Styles is retiring in 2026. And I'm assuming Randy Orton is not going to be around for more than another 3-4 years, if that. And then, once Rollins, which I think he's going to be around for a while, but Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, who are in their 40s, I believe, once they're gone, what do we do? Not even that. The Usos are both in their 40s. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think of other top stars. How old is Sami Zayn? I'm sure he's getting up there. I feel like WWE in the next, 10 years seems like a long time, but let's say even 5 years, they're gonna have to completely make new stars. And I don't know who that's going to be. I guess it is Braun Breaker. Obafemi's definitely an option, but they like having the face of their company be white people. So I don't think Obafemi's going to be the face of the company. He might get a World Heavyweight Championship run and that's it. We got Gunther. Yeah, we sure do. I guess Roman's Samoan. But like, who is it nowadays? Okay. Reed Aiden says, not much. Thank you for the honesty. I don't know why you fucking submitted anything at all. I hate when people do that. It's like, I used to have a Discord channel and I'd be like, hey, is anybody free to like do a match for a video? And somebody goes, not me. Why the fuck did you respond then? All right, thank you for the input. Easy bringing Donald Trump for Cena's last match if being in Washington is concerning. It being in Washington is concerning, I see. They are actually, I saw a lot of articles today about them wanting to do that. I don't like being political on here. I'll just say this, regardless of the political party that you support, I feel like having the president at a show is a big deal. However, I do think we have the most controversial president, probably like ever, unless you were like a slave owner during the Lincoln times and you probably wanted his head on a spike. But you know, I can understand why maybe the disconnect from that, you know, would be a thing. I was there at SummerSlam when that White House picture got shown. Oh boy, there was some heat. So actually considering that, I'd be curious to see if they were to have him at the show, because you already saw the very poor reception you got in New York. However, Washington, D.C. is a whole different place and America is divided. So I guess time will tell. I have to be at John Cena's last match, by the way. I have to. I just watched, I literally, Crown Jewel was a couple hours ago. I have to be there. I don't know what it's gonna take, because, you know, the money is, there's a lot of money involved in that, but I'm gonna do everything I can to be there. Every other content creator is gonna be there. So why shouldn't I? I'm popping. All right. Start charging for the weekly shows as well as pay-per-views. That is, that's the first one I've seen that seems actually legitimate. Yeah, start charging for the weekly shows. I mean, they kind of do. You have to pay for Netflix in order to watch Monday Night Raw. Most of America has, or I guess the world, most of the world has Netflix. So I guess it wasn't really an extra expense you had to dish out. The pay-per-views, however, are a way different story. I had the benefit of being at, let me not say the benefit. I was at WrestlePalooza this year. So my first actual ESPN pay-per-view was Crown Jewel. And I want to give a big shout out to Proton VPN, because what the fuck is an ESPN Plus anyway? I went right on Netflix and watched it like a real consumer. For free. All right. I mean, I'm paying for Netflix, you know what I mean? And even Stephanie McMahon's like advertising VPNs. Hop off my dick. Braun Breaker as a champ, yeah! Hey. No, I don't think that's gonna be a thing. I mean, I didn't want Roman to be champion in 2015, and he actually, well, he was eventually. But during that Roman runs, I couldn't do it. I absolutely could not do it, but I stuck through it. I did do it. I watch it every week, so I don't know. I mean, as much as I am not into Braun Breaker, at least right now, I don't want to sit here and say he can never change my mind, by the way. Like, if I start seeing more personality out of him, maybe that'll change. I like to see also some stories. The Intercontinental Championship run that he had 0 storylines within them, like 0. So I haven't been able to literally connect with his character other than hey, he does a cool spear. And he's fast. That's it. That's all I've been able to say about him forever. So, I mean, if my mind changes, I will let you know, which it's possible, but I don't know. Give the title to Brock. I think it's coming. I think Cody Rhodes is losing his WWE Championship to Brock Lesnar. I actually, you know, I really thought that the Rumble in Saudi Arabia was going to have Sami Zayn be the winner, because he's, you know, he's not Saudi, but he's Muslim, right? I think I got that right, which is kind of the sole religion in that country. So I think there's been a nice little connect there. Or Syrian, I don't know how any of that works. at all. But you do understand what I'm trying to say. But I actually think that Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar is going to win the Men's Royal Rumble. Because while we wouldn't like it, you know who would? Probably Saudi Arabia. We're getting Brock Cody. We're at least getting Roman Seth, I think, which is also a match that I've seen a million times. I think Brock Lesnar is going to be WWE champion in 2026, which, yeesh. God, if Brock wins a third Rumble, ooh. Make Saudi Arabia their home for wrestling, just like in general. Wow, and then right below that, if WWE makes Saudi Arabia their pay-per-view location more often. Wait, what the fuck? And then if Saudi Arabia has another deal with WWE, a second WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia. Holy shit. Wow. Here's the thing. I feel like I have, some Saudi fans watching, so I'd like to assure you guys, I feel like me, when I talk about Saudi, and I'm pretty sure these guys as well, we're not talking about like you, like the people in the crowd, the people like paying to go to these shows. You're not the problem. You know what I mean? And I feel like Saudi fans are so quick to like, well, rightfully so, I guess, defend the country against people that are like, why the hell is WrestleMania going there? But I think we're all missing the point. You know what I mean? I feel like some people are aiming their hatred at the Saudi fans, and the Saudi fans are aiming their hatred at, well, not aiming their hatred. They're saying that like, we just want it in America. Oh, it's always in America. I don't think that's what it is. I feel like even seeing the responses here, it's just kind of like WWE has prioritized money so much lately, and maybe that's just a TKO thing as well, but I mean, they are kind of hand in hand these days. I just feel like, especially considering WrestleMania was confirmed for New Orleans, and they, got a bigger paycheck and dropped out of it and went to Vegas. That's a little scummy. You know what I mean? People were booking hotels, I'm sure, and like planning their whole vacations to go to New Orleans. Vegas is a little bit more of an expensive trip, especially I think there's a whole other convention going on during WrestleMania 42 weeks. So like people are going to have to pay a lot of money to be there for WrestleMania 42. And then WrestleMania 43 just went into the highest bidder, which always is the case. But I feel like when you promised London a WrestleMania, when I feel like a lot of crowds have shown out, like France and Puerto Rico, there's a dude in every front row of WrestleMania going, hey, when are we gonna get one in Montreal? You know what I mean? I actually was it in Montreal for 18? Whatever. But I just feel like there's a lot of international places that I feel like WWE has had their eye on, but the moment they got as much money as possible, they switched to go to somewhere else. And I think the fear is that because Saudi Arabia is so wealthy, they can just monopolize WWE's events forever. You know what I mean? They're already kind of doing that now. The Crown Jewel Championships were brought over from Saudi to Australia, I'm sure, to go back to Saudi. This is like a Saudi championship. We're already doing a Rumble there. We're doing a WrestleMania there. It's only a matter of time before my SummerSlam streak gets broken. And I think that's and I'm not saying the fans don't deserve it over there. My point is, for all of the criticism that America gets for having every WWE show ever, that might change to another country very, very soon, which is like, what's the difference at that point? And I think the controversy involving, the money there makes it a little bit more hard to swallow. But time will tell. I do think that the relationship is going to continue between WWE and Saudi Arabia, I think for like forever. Carry on doing exactly what they're doing. Well, then how much longer can you take? What? So just what they're doing now, you're done. Why aren't you done yet? I feel like this is just another, But also, what does that mean? Carry on doing exactly what they're doing? I need specifics, people. Having long title reigns, I don't think every world champ needs a 6 month to 1 year reign. I agree and disagree. I think it's nice to switch it up every now and again. Like having Jey Uso lose the World Heavyweight Championship as quickly as he did was a little bit of a breath of fresh air. I mean, it was to Gunther again, so it's a little different there. But I understand. I mean, we just came off of a 4-year Roman title run, a year-long Cody title run. You know what I mean? So seeing Cena as well, and Jay and Punk, I guess, be a world champion for a hot cup of coffee and then get taken off them, that is refreshing. But the problem is they're back on the people that are going to hold it for another year, like a Cody Rhodes like a Brock Lesnar, I think there can be a nice little middle ground. I don't think any world champion should be champion for longer than like 8 months for a long time. And I think that is going to happen probably soon with Brock. So if that's the case, maybe you want to cancel your subscriptions. I don't know. Degrade the women again. Here's the thing. I feel like a lot of male wrestling fans actually don't give a shit about women's wrestling. We talk about it a lot. And I throw around the sexism word a lot. And then all the sexist people are like, how is that sexist? Here's the thing. Being like, oh, well, I'm just not into it. That's a problem because they're women. You know what I mean? So I feel like a lot of the male wrestling fans, especially some of the older ones, are waiting for the time to come back where it's just, Rhea Ripley taking her top off and, you know what I mean? That's like the wrestling that male fans want to see. But I think we've evolved from that. I think that women's wrestling has gone to an incredible place. Especially in 2025 now and in WWE. So I can understand the thought that them reverting back to it would get you to, stop watching. But here's the thing. I wonder how the women would feel about that. I'm actually curious to see. I'd want to talk to a female WWE wrestler about because times have changed a little bit. I think, the people who normally get offended by a lot of stuff, I think that's died down a little bit as time has gone on. I'm curious to see, especially considering a lot of the female wrestlers looked up to a lot of the women that were just taking their clothes off on television, how they feel about kind of going back to that. I think we've evolved. I don't think we need it. It probably would get bigger television ratings, but yeah. I wonder if they're going to do both at some point. You're going to have all this sex appeal and good wrestling, which we already have, but you know what I mean when I say that. So I think we're fine with women's wrestling the way that it is. So I can understand why going back to the 90s style of it would be a little bit of a turnoff. Someone dying. Okay. What the fuck are we talking about? Bring back the pay-per-view format. We already pay enough to stream. We shouldn't pay for each PLE. Yes, I feel weird again complaining about it just because I grew up where you had to pay for every pay-per-view and it was more expensive than $30. So being in a place where I can actually pay for that, I feel weird being like, what the fuck? But a lot of the fans, especially in the last 13 years, have been conditioned to not pay for a pay-per-view. Or when did the network come out? Was it 2014? So yeah, maybe 11 years. I don't know. I get it. But hey, VPN, huh? Go on Netflix, why don't you? Not really a consistent watcher, but I guess bringing Vince back. Oof. Dude, if Vince McMahon comes back to creative, I mean, if he owned the company, I don't know if I'd really think about it too much, but if he's running creative of WWE, yikes. Yeah, I think it would be pretty shown in the way that they're doing stuff. A lot of people complain about Triple H's booking, including myself. And while I think that a lot of stuff has been stale, I don't think it's been nearly as bad as how bad it was before Vince left the company. We really do not remember anything that happened. Vince would have done this differently. Yeah, he would have. Do we really? I mean, do you not remember anything that happened back in the day? I think we're okay where we are. We just need to shake it up just a little bit. This guy goes, what AEW is doing, TBH. Be specific. What the fuck does that mean? Oh, they do what AEW does, I'm gone. Like what? Please. John Cena retires. Okay, you got a couple months left. I don't think I'm ever going to stop watching at this point. See, that's an honest answer. You know what I mean? You're in too deep. I understand. But this guy says, if Logan Paul is world champion, wow. How do I feel about this one? If Logan Paul, which I do think is going to happen eventually, I think Logan Paul will be world heavyweight champion at some point in his career. Do I think he's earned it at this point? I don't know. Because he does, for lack of a better term, and to, bring kayfabe into it, he does feel like an outsider. You know what I mean? And I understand, oh man, if he was around longer or more consistently, maybe I wouldn't think about it too hard, but this is a YouTuber who is getting kind of the same views that Brandon gets. You know what I mean? Using that to become world champion. I don't know if that's enough. You know, and he's good. The Logan Paul matches I've seen are good, but he's not there like enough. You know what I mean? I don't think he's putting as much work as some of the other people that people are waiting to get a world championship around their waist. And I also feel like we've seen the whole shtick of guy wins title, leaves for 3 months, and comes back to defend it, and then cheats to win. That happens. It's happened a lot. Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, and it's gonna happen with Logan Paul. So I can understand that. And Logan Paul is less cool looking than Roman and Brock is. You know what I mean? Roman and Brock are more spectacles than Logan Paul is. Logan Paul is just a guy that you don't want to see there. You know what I mean? He's always somebody that you're like, ugh, but then he wrestles and you're like, okay, he's good. Do I want to do that for an entire world championship run? I don't think so. Also, let me ask, I mean, I hate to be like a crazy hater right now, but is Logan Paul still like marketable? I hate to say it like that, but he, like, being just a WWE superstar now, he's just like, and especially a part-time one, it's like, what else do you do? It's like, sure, you're like a celebrity, but your full-time thing is wrestling, which you do part-time. And besides your podcast, it's like, what makes you special nowadays? You know what I mean? Like, you are just a part-time wrestler at this point who happens to do content. That's a lot of people. Well, I'm trying to think, like, what else does he has Prime, okay. This guy that made a drink. Like, if he was like doing like the boxing stuff still, and like, I think, was that it? I mean, he doesn't even box anymore. I think Jake Paul is a bigger celebrity than Logan is in 2025. So do we need to give him a World Heavyweight Championship? I don't know. If BD or Brent joins WWE, damn, what the fuck? You're gonna stop watching? I'm done. I'm over it, I'm done. Well, and then while I talk about influencers and Logan Paul, I do think that, you know, YouTubers who wrestle who get looked down upon for that, that's like dumb. Brent has not only been training for 6 years, he's like good. Brandon has had, I think at the time you're seeing this video, 15 matches, including one in fucking TNA. Holy shit, by the way. Like these guys are putting in work. Not only, these guys aren't like coming in and like over rehearsing their matches because they don't know how to call spots on the fly. Like they know how to wrestle. They not only train, especially Brandon's been training his ass off over the last couple of years. Like, they want it. They just also happen to do content. You know what I mean? So I feel like because they're YouTubers, how are you gonna look down on that when they can like show you how good they are in the ring? And Logan Paul is just as much of an example of that, you know what I mean? But Brandon and Brent, they do this all the time. You know what I mean? I feel like they've earned a spot, or at least an opportunity. And that's not even just my bias talking because I'm friends with them. I really do think that if you've seen the work I've seen them put in to be at the level of, you know, not only popularity but in-ring expertise that they're at now, what the fuck? How did I start that sentence? You get the point. You get the point. So fuck you, Isaiah boy, huh? You's a girl. Ha, bitch. Travis Scott comes back, understandable. Cut Cena's speech or give a celebrity a championship. I don't know if I'd stop watching if they cut Cena's speech. Like, a lot of this is just like really like, it's stuff that I'd be upset about, but it's like one thing. Like, yes, Cena deserves a big, long retirement speech. I don't even know if he'll have one. Cena seems like the type of guy to be like, oh, it's not about me, it's about all of you, and 25 years, and I just want to say one thing. The champ is here, and like that's gonna be it. I guarantee it. I hope not, because give me my money's worth, damn it, John. If I'm in, I might cry. I actually might cry. I don't know. When it really becomes all about money and or sponsorships and not about great storytelling, it's kind of now that that's happening now. Remember when R-Truth cut his hair and was like, I'm real serious now, and then he was like, you know, I happen to be stupid, but let me tell you how I can use the ESPN app. Give all rights to TKO, like between creative booking championships. How does that work? Can they just do that now? Like if Ari Emanuel decided, we're Triple H, you're doing a bad job, we're gonna add in M. Night Shyamalan and start booking the shows. You know what I mean? Can they just do that? I feel like they have the power to do that now. So hopefully they keep it, you know, how we've been. I mean, Triple H needs to step it up a little bit in the creative sense. I mean, we are just in a dead zone right now in terms of creative booking for WWE, but I think that's the case every year. I think we go through this song and dance every single year. War Game season sucks because it means nothing. But once Rumble season comes, and then that through SummerSlam, everybody's like, yay. and then the next 4 months are, so we just got to move past it, push just a little bit further. I think nothing. I'm extremely patient. Thank you for the honesty. Maybe if every division was as dead as the Raw tag division, goodness great. How would that even work? What would they just have on TV? Just like LA Knight and Jey Uso, and Rollins is in the back like, oh, I'm gonna come out there at some point. I can see it happening. Put ads on wrestlers' gear. I mean, they got Jimmy John's. Actually, they kind of have been doing that. The Street Profits are coming out with Battlefield or no Fallout gear on. They did that Mania too with the War Raiders. It's like, guys, it's getting worse. It really is getting worse. The sponsorships, it's starting to blend a little bit for me, a little bit. The table still pisses me off. The Prime Hydration Station pisses me off. Fireball ladders, like they are doing too much. We see it in the entrances. We're seeing it on the LED boards. We're seeing it on the mat, on the turnbuckles, on the tables. When is enough enough? It really would go to the people's gear. Oh, Rhea Ripley tonight is sponsored by Snickers. Ugh. I'd actually want to throw up in my mouth, to be honest with you. Should I give mine? Is it time? Let's talk about what it's going to take for me to stop watching WWE forever. Because I'd like to sit here and say nothing. You know what I mean? I started watching WWE in November of 2007. And how many years did I make that now? We're almost at 2020. Well, November of this year would make, 18 years, right? So I've seen a lot in the last 18 years. It's been 18 years of ups and downs. It was cool when I started. As a kid, it's like everything's cool, you know what I mean? And then I started kind of looking down on it, during... When did I start getting a little jaded on it? I want to say, yeah, maybe 2015. Like around the time Roman Reigns won the Rumble. That's when I sat there and went, what the fuck are we doing? And it's had a lot of ups and a lot of downs since then. I think, especially as I've grown up as well, because when Roman won the Rumble, I was 15. So now I'm sitting here as a 26-year-old man now, which is fucking crazy. I've got to witness SmackDown live being really good in 2016. And then, now it's bad again. Oh, Raw's really good in 2018. It's bad again. Kofi Kingston wins the WWE Championship. Here's Brock Lesnar. Drew McIntyre wins the Rumble. That was one of the best Rumble matches of all time. Pandemic. Here's no crowds, and here's Seth Rollins taking Rey Mysterio's eye out. Hey, Roman's having a really good storyline with, the Bloodline and Jey Uso. Brock Lesnar wins the Royal Rumble. It's just like, it's a constant pendulum of ass. You know what I mean? The ass pendulum, it keeps on swinging. And I feel like it's swung. Hey, Cody Rhodes winning the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 40. Cody Rhodes beats John Cena at SummerSlam, and this run, we're in the bad part of the pendulum swinging. So I'd like to imagine that it's going to swing back, at least very soon. But what would actually get me to stop watching? The thing is, I used to watch Raw, SmackDown, and NXT every single week. I used to make Crystal sit down with me and watch it every week. This is back in 2019. And now in 2025, I don't watch NXT, not for their bad booking or anything. I think NXT is doing fine, but it's just maybe just my feelings about watching wrestling right now in general have kind of faded, because I don't watch SmackDown either. And Tiffany Stratton's on fucking SmackDown. That should tell you something. But I watch Raw every week, and Raw makes me not want to watch any other show. Just because I'm like, all right, I got through that. I'll just watch whatever highlights on YouTube. I don't prioritize any of the other shows. I prioritize Raw because Raw it should be the most important show out of all of them. But it hasn't been. And then it's worse on SmackDown. So if I'm not watching the main roster, why am I just dedicating my time to NXT? So honestly, that time, it's kind of already been here. But in order to stop watching it completely, I don't know. I'd like to think that maybe I would never stop watching. Not only is this my job, but I love it. It's so easy for people to be like, well, if you don't like the product, stop watching it. Why would, no, I love professional wrestling. I love, the idea of a WWE and how good it can be, because I've seen it be great. But when it's bad, I'm not just going to be like, oh, I'm done. But like sometimes it's hard to convince myself to stick around. So for now, I guess I'm gonna say nothing. But maybe there will be a time one day where I can't take it anymore. You see, how many wrestling YouTubers have you seen kind of dip out of the wrestling, sphere just because WWE kind of gets really shitty every now and again? Suplex doesn't make WWE content anymore. Will Power hasn't been seen in years. You know what I mean? I watch the New Legacy, pay-per-view simulations, and Johnny doesn't, I don't think, watch the products. He's like asking other people, like, okay, what's this storyline about? It's like people are like getting tired. And all the people that are like these influencers, they're getting tired as well. I feel like maybe I'm becoming one of those people. I hope not. I want to love it, but it's hard to love it. So time will tell. But let me know in the comments what is going to take for you to stop watching WWE, if ever. And, let me know what other videos you want me to make, maybe some other Instagram questions that I can do in the future. And yeah, we will see you soon. Kid, what would it take for you? Do you even watch it at all right now? Okay, I don't think he does, but that's fine. All right, we'll see you guys soon. Peace out.